PC fam, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Chill with Chill. It is Wednesday afternoon. We are here to talk some hoop talk, kick it with y'all, and obviously to chill with Chill. What's going on, Chilton?
Hey man, we're in the middle of the basketball season. We coming up on the dog days of the NBA season, Big Ox. Like right that probably that month or so before the All-Star break. That's when it gets to be. We got to get there because you're dealing with teams that have injuries. You're dealing with teams that's trying to figure out rotations. So we're coming up on the dog days of the season. We already got through that first third of the season. Now we're in that middle third of the season, and these are the dog days are coming up right now.
Yeah, this is where only the strong survive.
Yes, sir.
Only the strong survive right now. I'm not in the best of moods right now. You know, we took a tough one to Portland last night, but whatever. You know, we got to get through it. Already at this point in the game, we have a new all-time record set. This is already a record-setting season. Did you ever think that you would see that record get broke?
Not in my life, Big Eye. Because I mean, I saw bad teams, right? I saw Charlotte. I saw how bad they were. I saw how bad, I think it was the 94, the 93, 94 Dallas Mavericks. They were terrible. Philly, as you know, in 15, 16, they only won 10 games. That's where the process started. So I've seen some bad teams, but I never thought that I would see a team. I never thought that I would see a team just drop, I don't know, 35 games in a row. Because that's what it looks like it's looking like right now, Big Ox. And it's been
that's not possible.
I know that sounds crazy. But if you're looking at the landscape, right, they just dropped 27 in a row. And their next 6 games, they got Boston tomorrow, they got Toronto on Saturday, and then they go on a West Coast road trip where they got Houston, Utah, the Warriors, and Denver. I don't see them winning none of those games because this is where we are, Big Ox. I know this sounds crazy. This is where we at this point, Big Ox. We at this point, Big Ox, where it can't be us. It can't be us. Not us. I'm not saying that this team is never going to win a game again, just not against us. So every team that they go up against now, it's not going to be is their whole focus. It's like going up against the best team in the league. When you're going up against the best team in the league, more times than not, you are going to give your best effort. When you're going up against the worst team in the league, not only the worst team in the league, with a record losing streak, you don't want to be the team to break that because I'm connected to history forever. They broke that 35-game losing streak to us. Nah, that can't be us, Big Ox. No. So every team that they go up against, And you know, Big Ox, you know for a fact when you're stepping on the floor, whoever you're going against, even if it's a bad team, you have to say to yourself, we can't lose to these dudes.
Right.
We can't lose. I ain't saying that we can't lose. We can't lose to these dudes. Of all the teams that we can't lose to, we can't lose to.
Let's say you're right, Chilton. Let's say you're right. And they so basically don't win the game till damn near Martin Luther King Day. Like
that'll be almost 3 months.
That's what we're talking about right now, right? Like 30 plus games. That's insane. Still, you know what? Let's just go all the way out. Forget it. You know, let's just go all the way out. Let's say they don't win a basketball game in 3 months. They don't win November, December, or January. What is? I mean, that's got to be some type of uproar. Like that's never been seen before, right? I've never even heard of nothing like that before.
Ever. Well, they just broke the record for losses in a single season. They just broke the record when they lost yesterday. For losses in a single season. No team has ever lost 27 straight games in a single season. That's never happened. They're about to break the record tomorrow for the most losses in 2 seasons with 28 straight because I don't see them beating Boston. In Boston, I don't see it happening. No, I do not see them beating Boston.
Chill, like 35 games, like that's the number you said, 35. Like that's a complete season in college and high school. You know what I'm saying? Like There's some professional leagues that only play 30, 40, games.
That means you don't win a game.
So,
the year that Kentucky won the championship, I think they went 36-1, something like that. So essentially, what you do is you go through a season where you lose 35 straight games, right? Because this is what their schedule. Let's see, today is December the 27th, right? And they just lost yesterday to Brooklyn. So they got Boston, like I told you, in Boston tomorrow. They got Toronto on Saturday. Then they got a 4-game road trip with Houston, Utah, Golden State, and Denver. I don't see them winning none of those games. So that's 6 more on top of this 27 that they already lost. That's 33, right? So we get to 33 on that Tuesday after Denver. When we get to that 33, lo and behold, Sacramento is coming to town. Sac is not trying to hear losing to a team that just lost 33 straight games. They're not trying to hear that. No.
We can't have that.
So then of all the teams that can't have that, and Sacramento is a legit playoff team. They're not trying to hear that after 33. So then, Big Ox, the 34th straight after Sacramento beats them, 34 would be San Antonio, 35 is Houston, 36 is Washington, at Washington. So over these next 1, 2, 3, 4, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games. Over these next 10 games, the team that they have an opportunity to beat in game number 8 is San Antonio. Because if they lose to San Antonio, I don't see them losing to Houston. I just don't see it. Washington, with the young boys that they got, they looking at Detroit like, not us. Nope, not us. We're not trying to hear that. So at that point, Big Ox, that's 37 straight games. I want to make sure that's 37 straight games. And then they have a nightmare of a schedule the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The next 10 games after that, they got Minnesota, Milwaukee twice, Charlotte, Washington, Oklahoma City, Cleveland, the Clippers, the Magic.
So you put that the next game you said that put them at 37, then that 10 that puts them at 47 total games for the season. Past halfway point at 47. So what we're saying right now, it's possible that the Pistons could be 4-43 at that point in NBA. At that point,
4. Well, who are they going to be? Because they only got 2 wins, Big Ox. They only got 2 wins. They only got 2 wins. That's it. They only got 2 wins. That's it. And then, so essentially, what we're looking at right now is I'm looking at the schedule. Charlotte. Let's see. The Wizards, Charlotte, and the Wizards are the only teams, and maybe the Clippers, because the Clippers, do goofy Clipper stuff. The Clippers. I know that sounds ridiculous, Big Ox, but the Clippers, they do goofy Clipper stuff, right? So with the Clippers, it's possible because it's the Clippers. I don't care who on the crew. It's the Clippers. But if they don't lose to them and they don't lose to Charlotte or Washington, we looking at Sacramento, right? We're looking at Sacramento. Now they got to go on a 6-game West Coast road trip. They might not win a game till loss. They might not win a game till after the All-Star. We could be looking at something.
God,
we could be looking at something ridiculous like 40 straight games. We could be looking at that.
Oh man, I'm gonna pray for this. I'm gonna pray for them because that can't happen. Bojan's back. Jalen Duran is healthy as of now. That should be enough for them to to start pulling out a few games every now and again. I don't believe this team is gonna win more than 20 games this season, but
I don't think they're gonna win more than 8 games. To be honest with you, Big Ox, I don't. Okay. I think that this crew is. I just think they're that bad. And not from a talent standpoint. We already talked about this. Not from a talent standpoint. I look at this crew and I'm thinking to myself, Monty hasn't lost them yet. I don't think he's lost them yet. Mm-hmm. But the Sacramento Kings, Big Ox, that's 33 games right there. And again, I can't see I cannot see the Sacramento Kings looking at Detroit going, all right, we got this one in the bag tonight. No, Sacramento is playing them like it's game 7 in the West Finals. Because we ain't losing to these dudes.
You can't lose to them.
We're not. We can't lose to these dudes. Hell no. Let the next team deal with them. No, not us. Not us. So
so that's insane, chill. I got a super chat here from Smoky Settings. He says, yo, Ox and Chill, what you saying about Ham? He must be on the hot seat by now. They're gonna struggle to beat Charlotte. Talk to me, big homie.
Well, he did just shake up the lineup, and he decided to go with D'Lo with the second unit, which I think is good, because with D'Lo, with D'Lo on the floor, I don't think D'Lo on the floor with Austin Reeves works. And the reason why it doesn't work is because you got 2 scoring guards. The reason why D'Lo works with James, because James is a passer, willing passer. D'Lo is a passer. I'm not sure he's a willing passer. There's a difference. A lot of people don't understand the difference between a passer and a willing passer. Like, I think De'Aaron Fox is a willing passer. In addition to him being able to score, he will get off the peel. It doesn't take much to get him off the peel, right? So, with that being said, I look at this Laker unit and I don't mind that. I don't mind that rotation where D'Angelo Russell comes off the bench. I'm good with that rotation. The issue that I'm having is, why isn't Christian Wood playing more? That's the question that I haven't gotten a satisfactory answer on. Why doesn't he play more? Because if I look at what they need, right? If I look at what they need a guy to be on the backboard with Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis shouldn't be 14, 15, 16, 17 rebounds on the regular. He needs help on the backboard. They need a guy to help him on the backboard. They also need a guy who can stretch the defense like Christian Wood does. But then Christian Wood goes out of the lineup, and we don't see him for games. Now, I know that Christian Wood isn't the best defender, right, Big Ox? I know he isn't the best defender, and I'm cool with that. But neither was Kevin Love. But you know what Kevin Love could do? He could rebound. Kevin Love could absolutely rebound. Now, if Christian Wood, if I could get him to rebound for a short amount of time, if I could get 20, 25 minutes out of him, where I can get him to give me 6, 7, maybe even 8 boards, right? If I could get that, then bet. I think we in the money. But this team, the more I watch them, which I think is funny, because we're wrapped up in they got LeBron James, who has started to slow down, by the way. Like, he got going early in the season, and he started to slow down. You're seeing more 18-point games, more 20, 21-point games, stuff like that. You're not seeing 29. You're not seeing 32 as much. I mean, you saw 40 against Oklahoma City, but you're still seeing a couple of 22 games. So with that being said, you see this unit and automatically you think, yo, this team should be better. But if you watch them and if you watch them play, they're not a good team, yo. They got a bunch of good players. James is damn good, right? He's still damn good, no question about that. Anthony Davis is a force, 100%. But they're not a good collective unit, though. Not right now.
Is this all enough to have Darvin Ham on the hot seat? You know, because that's what he asked in the super chat. Like, should he be on the hot seat? I've been hearing that, like, but why? I mean, they got to the Western Conference Finals last year. They started off slow last year. They got there.
They did.
I mean, starting off slow this year shouldn't scare him. If this was basically the roster that brought him out of the depths last year. So they should be able to make something happen with this roster, right? I mean, should Darvin Ham even be considered on the hot seat at the end of the season? As long as they get out the first round at the end of the season, I don't think he should be fired. But I mean, mid-season, I think that's crazy.
Well, if you think about what they did, though, Big Ox, I mean, they were in the Western Conference Championship. And if you look at this crew was the crew that came back. Like, they didn't really shake up the roster. They didn't flip anybody. They basically brought the same roster back to say, okay, we only had this roster for 28 games, not including the playoffs. Now, the fact that we get this crew together where we got a training camp and we can get some continuity, things should be different. But there looks like a lot of confusion on offense. A lot of guys, when they're on the floor, whether it's with James or whether it's with Anthony Davis, they're not really sure what they should be doing. Does Austin Reeves have the green light? How about Cam Reddish? Cam Reddish, when he steps on the floor, is he just a D&3 guy? Can he go? Can he get his own shot? And what I mean when I say can he get his own shot, I think he's capable of creating his own shot. The question is he allowed to do that? And I can't play looking over my shoulder, Big Ox. I can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
So when you got guys like Cam Reddish, when you got guys like Austin Reeves, there's some uncertainty with what's going on with this crew. Of course, immediately the idea is the coaching staff. Like, why are these guys playing scared? Why isn't there more cohesion on the unit? Immediately that's coaching. But if you get rid of Darvin Ham in the middle of the season, I mean, who are you bringing in that's going to turn this thing around, that they're listening to, that they're receptive to? I don't think it's anybody. I think that with this crew right now, which I don't think is playing very well, I just don't think they're a good team. I think that you work this out. I do think you work this out. And I don't think firing Darvin Ham is the answer. I don't.
Okay. Well, before, real quick, shout out to Mike. Been a member for 4 months. Shout out, Mike. Appreciate you, brother. Before we got a couple other things to get into, but before we do, let me just bring a couple of the people in the back up. Let's get the energy up a little bit in here. Let's see if we got some people. Yeah, we got Nick. What's up, Nick?
What up?
What's going on with you? How y'all doing, fellas?
What up? What up?
All right.
So I just got one question before, because I'm at work right now. I'm on a little break real quick. I just got one question.
Get my man in trouble. We don't want to get him in trouble.
Nah, you good. So I've been listening to you, and I've been listening to you talk about the Lakers. I'm a Laker fan myself.
Yeah.
I want to know if you agree with this, and Bob, you can jump in this as well. Do you think it's time to blow it up?
No, because you're not at the bottom of the West. I mean, you're still in the playoff race, and we saw what happened last year when you started 2-10.
Okay.
So what happened?
But wait, chill. What does blow it up mean? I'm just curious if we can get
start over.
Just a specific.
Blow it up. Blow it up has always meant to me start over, and that starts with getting rid of your best player. That's what blow it up has always meant to me. When we blowing it up, we starting over.
And the only reason why I said, and the only reason why I said it is it goes back to what you just said. It looks like a lot of confusion that's going on with our offense, with our defense. AD, I mean, because as a late AD has been playing well. I'm not gonna take nothing for AD. LeBron is in year 21. He's playing out this world for a year 21 player. But when I look at this roster, the cohesiveness of this roster, I just don't see. I think at best we're a second round, maybe depending on the other teams in the West. Because right now I see Memphis getting better, and I understand it's only been 4 games. You still got to see, But I feel like right now, if we don't get it together right now, after all, because you never know. After All-Star break, teams could start catching fire, and right now I don't see.
Like you did last year.
Yeah, exactly, that is true. You did last year. But right now, but it's just I don't know, for some reason, and I'm not totally against firing Darvin Ham, because for just some reason I don't know if it's just I don't know if it's just a phase, but I don't see him lighting the fire under everybody. I don't see it. You know what I mean? I don't see it in the players.
But even if you did get a raw coach, I mean, you still got a 39-year-old, soon to be 39-year-old, that's in the rotation. I mean, that's your star player. So you got a 39-year-old that's a star player. Is he listening to that rah-rah? Is he? I'm too old for that, right?
Yeah.
Anthony Davis obviously isn't that kind of player who you rah him. He is not that kind of player.
But he's
never been that kind of player.
No. I feel that. But this is what I'm saying. See, with Bron, one thing is that we know about Bron. You never had to do that with LeBron. You never had to. Exactly. You never had to light the fire under him from day one. He came ready.
Right.
Still, and up to now, he still come ready. I think it's sad that, and I'm not saying we're wasting his talents. I'm not saying that, but I think it's sad that a player that's in year 21 brings the fire more than anybody on that team. It's
He
sad.
shouldn't have to be the man. He should
Consistently.
He should not have to. He shouldn't be. He should not have to be. I think about the guy that I think about more than anything when I think about what he's doing is I think about when Jabbar turned 39. When Jabbar turned 39, which was the 86-87 season, the reins were turned over to Magic. And James
took over.
That was it. He should not be riding a 39-year-old to the championship. As good as he is, he should not have to do this. He shouldn't. And that's why I came here to ask you the question. Like, do you think it's time to blow it up? Because for me personally, I don't see AD. Like, AD's a great player. Right. You know what I mean? I can't take nothing away from him, but I don't think AD is a number one. I don't think AD wants to be a number one. I'm not gonna say he can't be, because we've seen glimpses of Anthony Davis dominate both ends on the floor on the 2020 season. From the jump, he came in ready to go. From the start to finish, he came ready to go. But I just think combined with the injuries and the inconsistency play and all that, being in and out the lineup, I just think as a mentality wise, I'm not talking physicality wise, but for mental wise, I'm not gonna say he's soft, but I just think I don't know if he has in him every night to just say, you know what, I'm gonna go out there and dominate no matter who says anything to him. Well, if you think about it and you think about championship teams over the years, even championship bigs, all of them, Olajuwon, Shaq, Jabbar, they were put together different. As mild-mannered as Jabbar was, he was with the drama. Shaq was a very, contrary to popular belief, when you see all the smiles and the laughing, I can tell you guys this from firsthand information. When the playoffs, when we got closer to the playoffs, the one thing that I recognized more than anything, he wasn't as jokingly as he was a couple of months ago. Like, things weren't as funny. Like, his fuse was shorter. Like, he wouldn't laugh as much. It was easy to set him off. And it would resonate with me like, okay, we're getting close to the playoffs. Because I knew that's how he was. I was like, okay, we're getting close to the playoffs. So his fuse got shorter. He got more edgy. You built different when you're the man on a playoff team. And not a playoff team, I'm sorry, on a championship team. And I'm not sure, even though I've seen Anthony Davis be dominant, as the guy, I'm not sure if he's that. Can he be that? I don't know. That I don't know.
And then I got one more question, just one more before it's not really a question, it's a statement. Ox, listen, come on, my man, listen. I understand that both of you guys, y'all got the Celtics as the best team. Not taking nothing away from them. I think as from top to bottom, to me, I think they're the best team. If you're looking at it from top to bottom on paper, they are the best team. But Ox, you gotta stop hating on Giannis. I gotta say it. I just gotta say it. I just have to say it.
When have you ever heard me hate on Giannis?
Ox, I watch Player Choice. You're not the biggest fan of Giannis Antetokounmpo.
He's on to you, Big Ox.
I'm definitely not the biggest fan of Giannis Antetokounmpo, but I respect his game. You know what I'm saying? I respect his game. It's not Giannis. Giannis isn't the problem. It's the whole. It's everything. It's the team. They're not. It's not who y'all think they are. They're a second round exit.
Second round. I think the only team in the East that has a legit shot of beating them as of right now. Because you never know, injuries happen, stuff happens. But as of right now, I think the only team legit that has a chance to beat them is the Celtics. Now, Philly, I'm not going to sleep on Philly. I have to see more from Tyrese Maxey. And Joel has to be healthy in the playoffs, of course. And another thing is with Philly, I think we're also sleeping on Tobias Harris. I think Tobias Harris has actually, at these past couple games, Tobias Harris has been good this year.
Yeah.
These past couple games,
that's fair, Nick. That's fair. But we're gonna keep it moving though. Appreciate you pulling up, Nick. Stop by on Saturday, fam.
I got you. You have a nice day, man.
Yeah.
Big Ox,
you have a good rest of your shift.
Soften up, Big Ox, on Giannis Antetokounmpo, big fella. You got to get more on Giannis's page.
That's crazy.
I see where you at, though. I do. I see where you at.
For me to have to soften up for him, that's crazy. For Giannis don't need no slack. He's that good.
They're the type of team that could one of two things could happen. They could get to the NBA championship and win it. or they could get bounced in round 1. That could happen to Milwaukee. That would not. That is not something where I would if I found out that Milwaukee, barring any injuries, they're healthy. That would not surprise me if they got bounced in round 1.
Let's say Milwaukee's the 3 and New York is the 6. I could see it happening. Let's say Milwaukee's the 2 and Miami's the 7. I could see it happening. Like Milwaukee and New York, New York and Miami. New York and Miami can both get them in a 7-game series.
I think they smoked the Knicks in 5 games. I think
they should.
They
should. But
I think they destroyed the Knicks.
The thing with New York is obviously everybody's going to say, well, Julius Randle's a playoff dropper. I don't subscribe to that way of thinking. I'm looking at it like when the playoffs come, if Julius has 3 good games at the right, it's just the timing thing. Like if
Jalen Brunson can get you one, Jalen Brunson can get you one.
Jalen Brunson's gonna get you one. Jalen Brunson is going to get you one for sure. Mm-hmm. All Jalen has to do is just play consistent, and Julius has to just go off. You know what I'm saying? So it's not likely that they beat Milwaukee, but they could. They could. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but he brought up Joel. I'm gonna get, matter of fact, let me get one more person up here real quick, and I'm gonna ask you what I want to ask you. Tilton. Let's see who else we got in the back. Who's this? Okay, Diddy knows ball. What's up?
What up?
Chill, Ox. Say, man, we're gonna keep it real about Detroit, man. Detroit is, but I
think that's what we just did, Diddy.
But it's Cade too, though. I think that 21 draft is one of the most disappointing in the last 5 years. That 21 draft is not good, bro. You got Franz Wagner, you got Scotty Barnes, and after that, who you got? And I think
Evan Mobley's in that draft.
Yes, he is.
He not what we thought he was gonna be, especially not offensively.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. In year 3, he's arguably the best defensive player in the game, which I thought he was gonna be that good. And he's getting better offensively. He's not where I'd like him to be, but he is getting better. And remember, he's only in year 3. And how many drafts where you got guys in year 3, right? Year 3. I mean, we're talking about 2003 with Bosh and Wade and Carmelo and James. Like, that's an all-time great draft. Like, this draft, did anybody think that this draft would be an all-time great draft? If you think about the guys in that draft, Cade, Jalen Green, Mobley, Scotty Barnes, Franz, who else was in that draft? Moses Moody, Sengun was in that draft. I mean, it's not terrible. Davion Mitchell was in that draft too.
But look at that top 3 and compare it to most other drafts. We thought Jalen Green was going to be way better. We thought Cade was going to be. I think Cade is a big problem in Detroit because I don't think he's a number 1. And they're trying to put him in a Luka/Harden situation where he can't shoot. He can't get to the free throw line. And he turns the ball over for a guy that has the ball that much. We don't look at it from the standpoint of, if you put Tyrese Halliburton on Detroit, will they still be bad? Yes. But do they drop 27 in a row? Absolutely not. Like, Cade has his moments, but he just can't carry a franchise. Also, Bogdanovich just got back. Jalen Duren has been in and out the lineup. So we haven't seen their complete lineup. But 27 in a row, man, you got to look at the first option. You got to look at the second option. You got to look at the coach. And we got to talk about Monty Williams and compare him to Ime, because Monty Williams, the second highest paid coach in the league.
Yes,
so
he is.
Cade, I'm out on Cade, man, as a number 1. So that's my biggest thing, y'all.
They got some work to do, considering the talent that they have. We got to get I ain't even on the cohesion part. We got to get some leadership in here. And we got to get some direction, because we don't have none of that.
How would you build around Cade, Chill?
Well, how you would build around him is how I thought they were building around him, with Ivy, with Jalen Duren, with your dirty work guy, Stewart. You have talent on that crew. With Bojan, you actually had – this team isn't a bunch of bums. No, that is not true. This team has a plethora of talent on it. The question is how are you honing that talent? How are you putting this talent together? Who is the leader? What direction are we going? How are we going to run the offense? Who's my dirty work guy? What is my dirty work guy going to provide me? What is my 2-guard going to provide me? What is my bench going to provide me? They have talent on this Detroit team. The question is how are they responding to the coaching? And it doesn't seem like all of those. It seems like it's a disconnect on a bunch of different levels.
And this is my last thing. How would Cade look if he wasn't in Detroit? Where do you see him as a player? Because I'm just not sold on him. I don't think he sucks, but I don't think he's a number one. I don't even really think he's a number two in this league, to be honest. He's just not there with the shooting.
You only seen him. This is the second year you've seen him. He was out basically all last year. I think he played the first 5 or 10 games, and he was out for the rest of the season. You saw him as a rook. So him being as a rook, he's just getting his feet wet. This season, he's got a new coach, right? So this is second coach in 3 years, trying to figure out what exactly he is. He's one of the better transition players in the game. Now, I don't think that he's that smart yet. And the reason why I feel like that is because he's young. He's still trying to figure out the game. He's essentially in year 2. So he's still not sure how to play pick and roll basketball. His stop and pop game isn't where it should be. And these are things in terms of just distributing the ball, knowing who to get the ball to, knowing where to get guys the ball. These are things that you pick up as you get older with good coaching. And I don't think, one, he doesn't have that. He does have the skill. One, he hasn't done that, but he does have the skill set to produce that. So I think it's a combination of things with Cade. I don't think that I'm not out on Cade Cunningham. And this Detroit unit, I am out on them, but I'm not out on Cade Cunningham. No.
And before I go, Bob, say, man, hey, Sabonis and Fox did their job. It was everybody else, man.
No, they didn't, Dale. No, they did not. De'Aaron Fox shouldn't be shooting the basketball 26 times. Keegan Murray, 3 for 11. That's his job as a shooter, right? Yeah. That's his job. Mini Max Sauce, 2 for 11.
But that's what I'm saying. I said Sabonis and Fox. I think they did their job.
Even if them dudes didn't, right? I gotta get Malik Monk in different situations. Like he can't have a 2 for 11 night in Portland. Nah, he can have a 2 for 11 night where we got other guys stepping up. Keegan Murray can't miss wide open. He can't miss wide open mid-range shots. He can't miss wide open threes. He can't.
We got to keep it real. He been missing all year.
I don't think he's been missing all year.
He had that eruption, but Keegan is not being what I thought he was going to be. I thought he was I really thought he was the second best player in that draft. I probably was going crazy, but I thought Keegan Murray was the top 3 player in that draft. He's not being what I thought he was going to be, especially after coming off that summer league. But he got to hit more shots.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't care whose fault it is. We just got to win the game. But appreciate you though, Diddy. Check us out on Saturday, fam.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, let me see. Yeah. I don't care who we blaming on. That never much matters to me. I just want to win the basketball game.
Big Ox don't care. If you suck, Play better. Yeah.
Play better.
It's really that simple. Play better. You're gonna get put in positions to succeed. De'Aaron Fox shouldn't have to shoot the ball 26 times as my lead guard. I don't like that. No.
Right.
Should not have to shoot the ball that much in order for us to have a chance to win. No. Because that means that other guys aren't involved as they should be. That's what that means. And you got some damn good players on that team. You got some good shooters on that team. You got the Euro.
Really good. Really good
players. You got Malik Monk. You got some shooters on that team. Herder. De'Aaron Fox.
They were bricks last night, though.
Even if they was bricks, you still shouldn't have to shoot the ball 26 times. Get these dudes in better positions to score. My lead guard shouldn't be shooting the ball almost 30 times. And if he is shooting the ball almost 30 times, he better have 60.
I mean, he had 43. I watched that game last night because actually De'Aaron Fox is becoming he is one of my favorite players in the league. So I watch a lot of Kings games. My problems with them are they have no rim protection whatsoever when Sabonis is in the game. It is a highway to the basket. You're seeing this repeatedly. Portland was able to get downhill and finish on them repeatedly. The Celtics were able to do the same thing. Then once you do start to send help, you're leaving 3-point shooters open. So that's why the Reeves guy, whatever, was hitting threes last night. Sabonis is a good player, but I just think they either need to find some kind of rim protection. I see a lot of people like saying Zach LaVine or OG, which I do think they need a POA defender, but even more importantly, I think they need some kind of rim protection because Sabonis is not. I'm talking about just no resistance at the rim whatsoever.
This has been a problem too. I mean, you do have a rim protector, but he's a rotation guy. That's JaVale McGee. So,
yeah, McGee. Yeah,
I mean that does help, but he's not going to play 25, 30 minutes, and he's not going to play as the minutes that you need him to play in order for y'all to be real good in terms of a rim protector. So he's a rotation guy, which is good. I ain't gonna fight that. I think that's good. It's just when you're talking about rim protection and it translating over to the playoffs. I mean, you're going to need somebody on a consistent basis, like a guy like Robert Williams, if he was healthy, somebody like that.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that he can't stay healthy because he is such a good player when he is available. I did also want to talk about a little bit about the Lakers. As far as the adjustment to the lineup that we saw with starting Cam Reddish and Vando. I don't think that benching D'Lo is necessarily a problem, but I do think that either Reeves or D'Lo needs to start. There's just little shot creation from the perimeter outside of LeBron and shot making with their starting unit now with Vando.
You understand
and
why
Cam
they did
Reddish.
that though? You understand why they do that though? They're doing that because they want to go to Anthony Davis and they want to make him the focal point of the offense. That's what they're trying to do.
Oh no, for sure. And I think that is what we should do. But in making them a focal point, like we also need to provide them with the spacing. Like when AD attracts the double or triple team and we swing, we're swinging it to Vando in the corner. We're swinging it to Cam Reddish in the corner, and they're not hitting any of those shots.
Right.
Which is just a problem that we have. And then on top of that, Vando, he's still not clearly 100%. I don't think he's moving as fluid as he usually does. In the injury that he has, I think it's like something in the heel. It's known to be a lingering injury that he's going to just have to deal with. But he's not as good as he was defensively last year, which is why I think he's also in combination with not being healthy, not getting that many minutes. Vando's getting like 10 to 16 minutes in the game.
Do you care about D'Angelo Russell though in terms of making shots? Because you said you either want Austin Reeves. So who do you trust more making open shots? Do you trust D'Angelo Russell or Austin Reeves on the floor more?
No, I want to start Reeves because I trust in Reeves more.
That's what I'm saying. That was my question. Because when I think about D'Angelo Russell can make open shots, right? D'Angelo Russell can score. He's a scoring guard. But the reason why him and Reeves don't work is because offensively, those two guys are shooters and scorers. They don't pass. So because they don't pass, you're not going to get any fluidity on offense with them. None whatsoever. That's why that doesn't work. So if you're taking one of them off the floor, which one are you taking off the floor? You taking Reeves off the floor?
No, I'm starting Reeves with that start lineup and then kind of letting D'Lo man the second unit.
That's what I meant. Reeves, I'm sorry. That's what I meant. You're taking D'Angelo Russell off the floor, right?
Yeah. Because Reeves, I know he started off the season like first 10 games. He wasn't all that. But this last month and a half, Reeves has been, the third most consistent player that we have on the team for sure. Right. But I also, your Christian Wood point earlier, part of the reason why he's not finding as many minutes is because a lot of people have been clamoring about Rui Hachimura minutes. Right. And if you remember last year, how Rui was getting on the floor is Rui and Braun were playing the 4 and 5 a lot last year because we didn't even have a center on the roster besides Anthony Davis last year.
Right.
So Rui and Braun were playing the 4 and 5 this year with the addition of Jaxson Hayes and Wood. Beginning of the season, and Rui was hurt, but beginning of the season, Wood and Hayes were getting a lot of those minutes, and then people are like, "Well, where's Rui Hachimura and how does he fit in this?" So I think also with that's a tricky thing with the front court is that
Well, Rui was
if
hurt
Rui
too.
plays more,
Don't leave that out. Rui was hurt too.
yeah, Rui was hurt. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, if Rui plays more, that does mean that Hayes and Woods they're losing available minutes to play.
Nah, you could. But here's the problem with that though, man. Because a guy like Christian Wood can stretch the defense and he can rebound. So when you're talking about spacing, which you just brought up, we're talking about spacing. You can have a 6'9", 6'10" guy on the wing who can shoot the basketball. You got to find some minutes for him, especially when shooting on your team is at a premium and rebounding on your team is at a premium, because Anthony Davis should not be my only rebounder. That is not only his responsibility. We should have other guys out here doing that too. Don't get me wrong. Rui is one of those guys who in transition, he benefits a lot from guys like James and guys like D'Angelo Russell. He does benefit from guys like that. However, with a guy like Christian Wood, 6'9", 6'10", who can stretch the defense and create more spacing for this Laker team and rebound, we got to find some minutes for him. We have to.
Yeah. We can definitely do that. But he's competing with Andre Drummond. The problem with Christian Wood and Jaxson Hayes, they're low IQ basketball players. They foul a lot. They
dumbass basketball players, real talk. I can't stand that, yo. I can't stand dumbass players. Pros. Who taught you how to play?
Nobody, Chilton. Nobody taught me how to play.
How are you a pro 8-9 years and you dumb? How?
Man. Well, hey, real talk. Appreciate you, fam. Catch us on Saturday. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
All right, brother.
Damn, Big Ox. I can't stand dumbass players, B. When you watching a guy, right? You watch a guy and you can tell right from the beginning, this dude ain't that smart. This dude is not that smart. Man, get this dude off the floor.
But you know what it is, though, Chilton? You know what it is? It's because instead of coaching, coaches just put out cones. It's just drills. We just put out cones. Dribble between this cone. Tween, dribble between this cone. Step back, shoot it. Okay, but now what are we teaching them though? Like, are we teaching them how to move without the ball? Are we teaching them why you're doing this move? Are you teaching them like counters to moves when they're playing against a defense, where to be on the floor, how to space the floor, where to be in help side defense? They're not doing this stuff. It's just straight cone drills, highlight reels, AAU.
How am I supposed to learn how to play basketball like that, yo? How? I don't get a feel. I can't get a feel for players. I can't get a feel if I'm just dribbling through cones, because that's not what's going to happen when I'm on the floor. That's not what's going to happen. When I'm on the floor, there's going to be a guy in front of me, and when I go this way, guess what? He's not just going to stand there like a cone. Not all the time. I'm probably going to play against some guys who are cones, but more times than not, I'm not going to play against cones. I'm going to play against actual ball players. So, oh man,
yeah, it's you know how it goes. Chilltown, those guys that we can do drills and you're just nice in the drill. Like you hit every step back. Your jumper is perfect. You got perfect. Like it's just crisp everything you do. But as soon as we get to getting up and down the floor, it's just like, oh, where bro goes? Like, what's going on? I'm trying to get you involved. I'm looking for you, and you can't do nothing because you've only ever played against cones and those big, the big little orange things that stand up. They're supposed to be the defenders. That's the only person you ever play against. And
is it like just hitting a punching bag, Big Ox? Like when somebody actually standing in front of you, and now you got to throw hands. Like, oh, what is that? Oh, it's way different than just hitting a punching bag.
Yeah, man. Well, that's like my youngest son. Matter of fact, my youngest son, like last summer, me and him and his brother, we all just messing around, just boxing, playing around. Yeah, and he tells his brother like, okay, let's go, but don't hit me. I'm like, well, if you fight, you gonna get hit.
Yes.
What you think you're not gonna get hit? Like that's how you plan on winning the fight. You plan on winning the fight by me hitting him and him not hitting me back. That's not how it works. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get hit, bro. Gotta get your chair right. But anyways, though, Chilltown, I want to ask you about how you feel. I know we touch on it every once in a while, but I just want kind of we're almost what, we almost 30. We're a little over 30 games. Yeah, we're at about 30. At about 30. We're at about at 30. Most people play 29. Some play 30.
Right around 30.
Who is the MVP right now? Is it clear cut? Because it's been kind of going back and forth between Joel, Luka. There was some KD talk. Everybody, Jason Tatum had a little talk. Giannis, Jokic, of course. Who's got it right now?
Well, the good thing about the league MVP and the candidates as of right now, the good thing about the league MVP and the candidates right now is that their teams are winning. Like Philly's in 3rd place. That's a top 3 seed. Denver is in 2nd place. That's a top 3 seed. The only downside is Luka being a 5th seed. That's the only downside. The fact that he a 5th seed. But if you go back and look at the history of the league, with the exception of Joker and Russell Westbrook, since Jabbar did it in the 75-76 season, every league MVP has been on a team that has hosted a playoff series. So Joker was the exception in 21, right? Joker was in 22, I'm sorry. Joker was the exception in 22, and Russ was the exception in 17. Those 2 guys are it. But when you go, I did some homework, Big Ox, and if you go back 30 years, right, of all the advanced stats, PER, box plus minus, the one thing that's consistent, the value over replacement player, hence the term value over replacement player. Over the last 30 years, with the exception of Steve Nash and Allen Iverson, every player that's won the league MVP has been top three in value over replacement player. And 17 of those guys in the last 30 years have been number 1. So when you're looking at it from that aspect, how valuable are you when you're off the floor? And this has nothing to do, Big Ox, with your team getting rebounds. This has nothing to do with your team getting assists. This has nothing to do with any of that. This is about buckets. How good is your team when you are off the floor? How good is your team in terms of scoring? And when you take this dude off the floor, right? They're not nearly as good. When I think about what Joel Embiid is doing, I think he averages something like 35 a game, right? When I think about the fact that he's averaging something crazy like 35 a game, him averaging 35 a game, I can't just go off that, right? I can't just go off the fact that you're averaging 35 a game. That's not enough. That is not enough. And the reason why that's not enough is because he also got a 26 a game guy on his roster. So that helps him. And don't get me wrong, that guy benefits from playing with Joker. Don't get me wrong, Big Ox. That guy, not Joker, I'm sorry, with Embiid. Yeah, that guy benefits from playing with Joel Embiid, 100%. I can definitely get with that. But the fact that he averages 35 a game, and when he's out the lineup, what are they doing? Are they winning? Are they not winning? In the past, Philly has won with Joel Embiid out the lineup. Now, when you think about Luka is solely responsible for a lot of that offense. No Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving has been out. I think for at least a month, right? I think Kyrie Irving has been out for at least a month. And with that being said, Luka is solely responsible for that offense. He gets everybody else involved, not just himself. He also gets Hardaway involved in the offense. Derek Lively actually looks like a legit 5-man, even though he's a rookie, right? Even though he's a rookie, he looks like a legit 5-man, 100%. And what Luka brings in terms of buckets on that team, I think the Dallas Mavericks, I think they're top 5 offense in the league right now, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong, but don't quote me on that. I think that if they're not a top 5 offense, they definitely a top 10 offense. Don't quote me on that, but I'm 100% sure that they're at least a top 10 offense. But with that being said, that's largely due to Luka. That's largely due to Luka doing what Luka does. I specifically thought that it was Joker, right? I specifically thought that it was Joker, considering what Joker brings to this unit. The fact that Joker doesn't have to score early, he could have inefficient nights. And the fact that they still win because he does so many other things, rebounding the basketball, getting out on the break, putting pressure on the rim, getting guys like Jamal Murray, getting guys like MPJ, getting guys like Aaron Gordon, who got bit by a dog, by the way. I don't know if you know that, Big Ox, but yeah, he got bit by a dog on his face and his hand. So he's going to be out the lineup for a while. Yeah, he got bit by a dog not too long ago. But with that being said, how important he is to their offense. A lot of people, they discount the difference between a guy who runs the offense and a primary ball handler, and a guy who the offense runs through. The offense runs through Joker. And all of these guys benefit from it. The offense runs through Luka, and Luka is the primary ball handler. So if the season ended today, I think it's Joker, but Luka will probably win it.
Over Joel.
Yes, because 35 a game, like a lot of people see 35 a game and automatically think, and I think he's 30-10. I mean, let's take it a step further than that. If he's 30-10, I mean, that's pretty incredible.
I think they're 0-4 without Joel though.
So I can tell you right now. I'll tell you right now what the Philadelphia 76ers look
because
like.
I just did a debate on FYF on Lamont's channel last week. And I had to do Joel versus Luka pretty much on the same thing. And it was I think the Dallas was 0-2 without Luka or 0-3. And at the time Philly was 0-3 without Joel. And I think they lost 2 games since he's been gone too. So I think they'll put him at 0-4.
Well, they're 0-4. Yes, that's what they are right now. 0-4. Yep, they're 0-4 without him. Yep, 0-4 without him. As of right now, they're 0-4 without him. So now I'm thinking about from years past. That's why he hadn't won it, because the team had won with him out the lineup. That's not going on right now. So I mean, they lose to Miami on a terrible performance by Maxey and Harris. I mean, I didn't even, to be honest with you, I caught the highlights. I didn't even watch the game because I was so upset that Embiid and both buckets weren't playing. But I had a difficult time even watching that. But I mean, Joel Embiid at 35-10, you have to consider that. I won't argue that. You have to consider that. But when I think about him playing with a dude that's 26-8, I think he's 26-7, something like that. So when he's doing something like that, you have to consider him. I think it's Joker, but if it ended today, it would probably be Luka.
Oh yeah, I think so. I think Luka got it right now. But before we get back to the lobby, before we start bringing cats back up again, you know what? Actually, before we even do that, let me remind y'all see those 2 QR codes in the bottom right and bottom left-hand corners of your screen. Make sure to scan on those. Grab some merch. We got all types of fly gear in there. Y'all go do some shopping. Just check it out. At least just check it out. Also, we do got some super chats. Let me get to these because, as y'all know, the super chats come first. Let me see. We got one from Alan Orr. Pistons better not beat us tomorrow. On God, I'll cry.
Why you even care? Man, the Pistons are not beating the Celtics on their home floor. That's not happening.
Don't even put that energy in the air.
No, do not. That's not happening.
Pimp named Slickback says, chill. I think my Nets are going to be sellers at the deadline. Dorian Finney-Smith, Royce, Dinwiddie, a lot of teams will give up picks or young players for these guys.
If you end up losing those guys for picks, I mean, what are you doing? So you got Ben Simmons out the lineup, right? You got Ben Simmons out the lineup. You got Cam Thomas, who's in the lineup. He's buckets, right? You got him. I don't know if you guys are going to be sellers more than you. I think you got with Cam Thomas, and why am I drawing a blank on my man's name? Eddie Jones. I'm loving this dude. Why am I used to played in Phoenix last year? Mikal Bridges. I'm sorry. Why I drew a blank on him. So anyway, so you got buckets in Mikal Bridges. You got buckets in Cam Johnson. You also got defense in Mikal. You got defense in Nick Claxton. I still think you need a 5-man because I don't think Nick Claxton is a 5-man. I think he's a 4. I feel the same way about him as I feel about Bam. So in terms of being buyers, in terms of being sellers at the trade deadline, I think that you would be more apt to be buyers. Call up Indiana and ask for Ask for Turner. Check their temperature on Turner, and see where they at with Turner. Even though I'm not a big Turner fan, but I think that he could give you some rim protection, which would help out Claxton and make him a better rebounder, which would speed up your transition game. I think that would help you guys out a lot.
Okay. I wonder why the Suns don't call Indiana to try to get TJ McConnell down there.
Because I think the Suns already. I think they're in a different space, man. That thing is a disaster over in Phoenix. It just is. They just look like a team that does not have any idea what they're doing. I mean, KD is. I'm not gonna say any idea. I'll take that back. They just look like they're dysfunctional right now. And Devin Booker is not a league guard. He's not. Devin Booker is not a league guard.
Do something else, Chilltown, like something off the court. Like as the team needs to take a couple steps back. You know, maybe when they have a 2-3 days off, don't even go into the gym. They need to just
let's go to movies. Let's go hang out.
They need to go sit down and just just relax and chill together, just talk and work some things out on and off the basketball court. Because sometimes that's what it takes. Sometimes we're just not seeing eye to eye. And we think that somebody's feeling a certain type of way, and instead of us knowing that we should just be grown men about it and sit down and talk, sometimes we just, it's cool. But then you start losing games, and that piles up. They need to press the restart button and get back to it because the team is talented. They got enough pieces, I think. So I think it's more off the court, maybe. One more super chat from Bob. He says, "Who are some surprise regressions for you this year?" For me, I think it's Mikal Bridges. He's a good player, but I don't see fringe all-star anymore.
I don't think that he wants to score the basketball as much. I think that he got on that crew last year. I think Mikal Bridges is a 20-a-game scorer, but if you asking Mikal Bridges to be like a 25, 28-a-game guy, no, that's not him. That's not his game. That's not who he is. Mikal Bridges he's a defender who can knock down the mid-range, plays great in transition. With all of that being said, I don't really see regression in Mikal Bridges. I don't think he's gone backwards. I just think that Brooklyn team, the way it's constructed, it was constructed to play a certain way with Ben Simmons, with Mikal Bridges, with Nick Claxton. It was constructed to be a defensive-oriented team. It wasn't constructed to be a high-octane offensive team. That's not the way that's not the way it was put together to be. So I don't think that Mikal Bridges is taking a step back. But in terms of regression, I haven't seen a lot of guys that I'm surprised to go backwards. But I will say that I felt like Evan Mobley would be better this year offensively. I did think that. I mean, we're in year 3, and I find myself rushing him because I see the potential and I see what he could be. I think he's a 20-10 guy on average, and I see that he can be that. But the problem is that it's not happening as fast as I would like. Like, he can handle the basketball, right? He can shoot the mid-range. He just doesn't shoot it as much. He's great around the rim. He's great in transition. The difference is that I don't think he trusts it enough. I watched him play Philly. This was right around the in-season tournament. I watched them play Philly, and they had him bringing the ball up. He didn't look comfortable bringing the ball up. Even though he was handling it, he was handling it like, yo, can somebody come get the ball? Because this isn't my job. When I think that as a big, if you're working on that and you doing that more in your game, you get more comfortable with it. And I just didn't think that he was that comfortable with it. And I think that as time goes on, he's going to have to get more comfortable with it. Right. Definitely get more comfortable with that.
Right. Okay. So we got through that. Now let's get to the nitty-gritty. Let's get to what the people are here for. Let's talk about the NBA contenders and pretenders. After that, y'all hold tight in the lobby. I'm gonna get to y'all as soon as we get through this. Chilltown, the people want to know who are the contenders, who are the pretenders, and what teams are on the brink. So what we got here, let me see. I'll pull it up. Let me show you what we got here, y'all. It says contenders, and then there's 5 spots. After that, it says pretenders, and there's 4 spots, and then on the brink, 3 spots. So on the brink means what are teams that are on the outside looking in, maybe playing type teams? You know,
Right.
what's the teams that might be first round ceilings? You know, who's on the outside looking in, but they're about to bust through. Let's get straight to it. Let's talk about Chilltown. Who are the contenders?
So I'm gonna start at the top with the Boston Celtics.
Okay.
I think they're a contender. I think they have. The way I feel about them is the way I felt about the next team, which is Denver. The way I feel about Boston is the way I felt about Denver last year. I think that Boston has the most complete team in the league. I think that there's nothing that they are missing. I think everything you need in order to win the NBA championship with them and their prime to do it, because they don't have kids like or that young of a group at the core like they did years ago. I think that they're right there. The Denver Nuggets, I think they're the class. I think they're the class of the Western Conference. I think Joker is the league MVP. I think he's the best player on the planet. When I look at this Denver group, they also have all the things necessary in order to win.
Right.
Injuries have bitten them. You know, Jamal Murray has been in and out of the lineup, but they've got some damn good minutes from Reggie Jackson. Damn good minutes from him off the bench. MPJ has been solid. I just dig the combination of Aaron Gordon and Joker, how much better Joker has made him. I think that they look so much better than they did in the past. And I think that that's largely due to playing with somebody for that long a period of time. Big Ox, when you play with somebody that good, one or two things is going to happen. Either you're going to quit or you're going to get better. Ain't no in between. You're not just going to stay the way you are. So the third team, I think, is Minnesota. They got the best defense in the league. They have also one of the most complete teams in the league. I think the problem I'm having with Minnesota, Big Ox, is if you look at that unit, I feel like Cat is the catalyst. He's the difference. He could be the difference between them winning in the first, going to the NBA Finals, or getting bounced in the first round. At number 4, I got the Miami Heat, and I mean they're top 5 seed. Bam is actually, I feel like I'm dealing with peak Bam right now, as opposed to years past. Like Bam is a 20-10 guy, and I feel like I could get 3 or 4 more 20-10 years out of Bam. And this kid Jaime Jaquez, I mean, he's fantastic. I love everything about him. What can you say about buckets? And number 5 is Milwaukee. And the reason why Milwaukee is because if they were better defensively, Giannis, we'd be talking about him for Defensive Player of the Year. But the fact that they're not, we not. The Pretenders, I want to start with Philly. I'm not sold. As good as Joel Embiid is, he averaged 33 and 11 last year, and he got hurt in the playoffs. So I saw what it was.
The Sixers are pretenders.
I'm not buying it. Number 2 is OKC. I don't think that they're there yet. I think that young group, I think that they are on their way to being there. They ain't there yet, though. They're getting close. They're not there yet. Number 3 is the Clippers. In the words of my man Big Ox, I'm not buying that off the clearance rack for 99 cents. Nope, I'm not buying it. I know who James Harden is. 2 of their last 3 games they've lost have been without Leonard. And I said this before this. I said this a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Leonard is the difference in them winning or losing. If he's out the lineup, forget them.
They need everybody.
They need everybody. And number 4 is the Knicks. I'm not sure that, as much as I dig Julius Randle, as much as I'd like Julius Randle, I'm not sure you can win it with him and Jalen Brunson as your 1-2. So I don't think that they are. The guys on the brink, and we had a little bit of we didn't have a miscommunication, but I think that this team is better than on the brink, but I only got 4 choices. And that was Sacramento. I think Sacramento was better than on the brink, but we only have 4 choices. So I'm going to go with Sacramento. They're on the brink. I think they got to get more consistent with that shooting. I think the Lakers are on the brink. I don't think that trades need to be. I don't think there's trades that need to be necessary, because I feel like this team is they just need to play better, and I don't think that they're that good. And the last one is Orlando. As young as they are, I think that they're on the brink. I think they're on the brink of making some noise and doing something serious. I don't think they're there yet, though. I do. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
So this is it, y'all. For Chilltown's Contenders, Pretenders, and teams on the brink, we have number 1 in the contenders: Boston, Denver, Minneapolis, Minnesota, Miami, and Milwaukee. Boston, Denver, T-Wolves, Miami, and the Bucks. For the Pretenders, the 4 Pretenders are the 76ers, the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Los Angeles Clippers, the New York Knickerbockers. On the brink, we have Sacramento, or Orlando, and the Lakers. That's what we got, y'all. Check it out. Y'all get in the comments and let us know, how do y'all feel about Chilltown's Contenders, Pretenders, and teams on the brink. Once again, we have Boston, Denver, Timberwolves, Miami, and Minnesota are the contenders. The Pretenders are 76ers, OKC, Clippers, and Knicks. And the teams on the brink,
Right.
Sacramento, Lakers, Orlando. That's what we got, y'all.
Yep.
Let's get to some of the guys in the back. Let's see how they
No
feel
doubt.
about this.
No doubt. No doubt.
Of course, we're gonna start this one with Leaf Diggy.
What's up?
Happy holidays, gentlemen.
What up?
Same to you.
What's going on?
See, that's how you come in the house, Leaf.
Right.
You lucky I'm being this nice.
Right. That's right. That's how you walk in somebody's house.
You lucky. You lucky I ain't kicked the goddamn door in. But listen. Me and Chilltown, we had a conversation the other night about Milwaukee. I think that they can be contenders, but he's also right about them being eliminated in the first round. But there's very few teams that could get it done against them in the first round. Miami obviously being one of them. And Boston, which we probably know ain't gonna happen because they're gonna be 1 or 2 interchangeable. That rookie from Miami is playing very great. By the way, too. What's his name? Jaquez? He's fitted in very, very quickly for that team. That's definitely kudos for them because they get a lot of their young guys to play. I think the Bucks is right at that spot, that 5th spot, borderline contenders and pretenders. Obviously. It's laughable about the pretenders list because I think Bobby has told me repeatedly about the Sixers. He's told me repeatedly about the Clippers. I and everybody else in New York is going to tell you repeatedly about the Knicks, but I think the Knicks is probably more on the brink than anything. So I think they in that last spot. But I think this list is pretty good. This list look pretty solid. I don't usually give you credit for shit. But this list is pretty solid though.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah. But I wanted to talk about the league MVP as of right now. To me, it's Joel. And I think this is the 4th year in a row that he's put himself in an elite MVP conversation. And I think I don't think he's gonna let up, man. Like I think with like what the trajectory that he's on with these efficiencies, and with 30 and 10 and 30, 10 and 5, I think it is. If I'm not mistaken about the numbers, I don't know the numbers exactly, but he is absolutely on a tear. Now no disrespect to Luka, but he is absolutely on a tear. To continue with what I was talking about, Chilltown, why don't you tell Bobby how your patience is wearing thin with the Boston Celtics?
Oh, I told him already. He knows we can't keep getting to the championship. We got to win it. Yes,
right.
He knows. We got to. We can't just keep getting there. I had this conversation with Bob already. The tomorrow. I'm sick of hearing that. I'm tired of hearing.
Right. I think
we can't keep hearing that. At some point, like tomorrow got to come. Like when is tomorrow? I keep hearing you say tomorrow. I keep hearing you say tomorrow. When is tomorrow? Come on, man. Let's go.
I think at some point they have to display some type of advantage and some type of dominance as a unit. I'm trying to figure out when they get into the meat and potatoes of the game, man. And I'm looking at, and I talked to you about this before. When they get into when they play against teams that don't blink, what is Jason Tatum? What is Jaylen Brown gonna do to say, hey, yo, we taking this, and it ain't a damn thing you could do about it? That's my thing, man, because I've seen it from Joker last year when he went up against the Suns in the Lakers in the Heat. Yo, whatever defense you giving, whatever defense you showing me, it don't matter. I'm taking this. I've seen it from Steph. Yo, listen, whatever defense you showing, whatever thing you showing, I'm taking this. This is mine. So my thing is, this is what is Jason Tatum and what is Jaylen Brown showing you in that down in the steak and potatoes of the game to basically overlap their competition, bro. It like because it doesn't look like Jimmy is going anywhere. It doesn't look like Milwaukee, and I think they could beat Milwaukee, but it don't look like Milwaukee is going anywhere, man. But so I'm trying to figure out, other than them having a stacked team and having them that from top to bottom, some point in some way it's going to come down to Jason Tatum versus the best player on another team, toe to toe, man to man. The X's and O's is going. Yo, prove to me that you better than me and that you could close this game better than I can.
Can't you make teams blink though? Like teams won't blink, but you can make them blink. You know, Big Ox.
I don't think Boston. I don't think Boston is capable of. I don't think Boston is capable of doing that.
But they were. They did that last year. Philly had them in a chokehold. They're over. They're on the road in Philadelphia, down 3-2. That series should have been over. That series should have been finished. They go in there. Not only do they beat them, then they get on their home floor and he puts 50 on them. You can make other teams blink.
I think Philly just choked. That's just
again. You made them blink.
I don't know if
absolutely you made them blink. I don't understand why. I don't understand why this is difficult. You can make just like you can make a guy tap out. You can make a guy do that.
That's a fact. But either way, fellas, we can't. We don't got time to argue about semantics. Leaf Diggy, appreciate you pulling up, fam. We got to keep it moving. Check us on Saturday, bro.
Absolutely.
All right, man. Okay, let me see. We're gonna start picking this up a little bit.
And I just have a difficult time with that, Big Ox. The idea of, you know, I know for a fact, Big Ox, when you get into the championship series, it's going to come as good as your role players are. The championship series that I've seen in my lifetime, as good as James Worthy was, as good as AC Green was, as good as Horace Grant was, as good as Udonis Haslem was, as good as all of these meat and potatoes guys, dirty work guys are. In the end, my best player is better than your best player. It's going to come down to that. I'm not going to fight that at all. But you can make a guy blink. Definitely. You can do that. You can absolutely do that.
My thing about it is in the East, in the East, specifically in the Eastern Conference, if you know what I'm saying, if I'm Joe Mazzulla, I'm completely fine going to war with my best player being Jason Tatum. And if we got to shoot it out, we'll shoot it out. Whatever happens.
Because I've seen him. Because I've seen him go in enemy territory and produce. I've seen that.
Right.
So,
yeah, I'm not at all concerned with that. That's fine with me.
Right.
Let's see. Let's get a couple at the same time. We got Neff. We got Tex. What's going on, yo?
What up? What up, fellas?
Yo, what's going on?
What up?
Man, I gotta say, I'm surprised to see Minnesota that high. Because I know, pretty sure you didn't have them as contenders at the beginning of the season, right?
I did not.
Okay. Yes. And did you have Lakers as contenders at the beginning?
Yes, I did.
So I would expect them to be. I'm very surprised to see Lakers at the brink. Like, why? What happened in the span of these 30 games? Even if they won the in-season tournament, that you put them on the brink.
Just watching them, this team is really inconsistent. This isn't a team that I can hang my hat on anything in terms of consistency, except for James. And I don't know how long James is going to hold up. I would hang my hat on James if this was 4 or 5 years ago, but this isn't James of 4 or 5 years ago. I can't hang my hat on the 39-year-old throwing us on his back and getting us to the NBA championship. I can't do that. There is no consistency on this crew that's been on championship contending crews in the past. This Minnesota team, what's the one thing that I've seen that's consistent? They got the best defense in the league. Right. They might not be able to score.
They figured it out.
They might not be able to score. And this is what I've seen. And what I've seen from Minnesota, don't get me wrong, they got served last night by Oklahoma City. And that's going to happen. I watched the 98 Bulls get blown up by 30. By the Lakers on their home.
That was still a good game. I did watch that game.
I did. I watched that game last night. So with that being said, I've seen teams I've seen teams that are the championship contenders be consistent at something. There is nothing that the Lakers are consistent at. That's why I have to take them out of that category for that specific reason.
Okay, that's fair.
Can't hear you, Contacts. Can't hear you, brother. Can't hear you.
But I mean, to continue with the list, though, man, Did you have Orlando on there? Can we see?
I did. I had Orlando on the brink. I do. And Orlando's on the brink. The same reason why Minnesota's on the brink, because of that consistent defense that they play. I'm not sold on who they are offensively, and as good as Paolo is, and as good as Franz Wagner is, and I think that their rotation players are good. I think Cole Anthony's giving them giving them really good minutes. Jalen Suggs is becoming one of the better. Jalen Suggs is becoming one of the better perimeter defenders in the game, which is, I think, why they drafted him. And that's the one consistent thing. But the other stuff, I feel like that hasn't been consistent with them.
True. Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
I get that. Also, something that doesn't have to do with the list I wanted to bring up for sure is two teams that are not on here: the Grizzlies and the Pelicans. The most exciting game last night.
Right.
I feel like the Pelicans have all the pieces, right? They got theoretically all the pieces, but they can't put it together for some reason. Like,
right.
And I can't really tell where to put the majority of the percentage of the blame. Like, is it their stars, Ingram and Zion? Are they just not producing enough? Is it the coaching? Are they not running good enough schemes for BI? Like, I'm not exactly sure. I need to watch them more to figure it out.
I said this to Big Ox earlier, and what I said to Big Ox earlier was Zion reminds me of that chick that, she looked fly from afar, but when you get up close to her and you start hanging around and you realize you ain't really all that. I thought you was a lot better looking than what you are. And when I watch Zion, the more I watch him, I mean, last night he took 17 shots. Of those 17 shots, none of them was outside of 6 feet. He doesn't have a mid-range game. He doesn't have a long ball. He's very left-handed. He had 11 rebounds last night, but as a consistent rebounder, he's not that. Not only is he not a consistent rebounder, on the defensive end, you can basically spin him around like you doing the tango. He has no idea and that's a huge problem when you're talking about one of your core guys. Doesn't rebound at a high clip consistently, who's very one-dimensional, very left-handed, and another guy in Brandon Ingram who something that was brought to my attention, which made me think about it. Brandon Ingram plays a lot smaller than what he is. Brandon Ingram is 6'10", and he should play a lot bigger than he does. He plays like he's 6'5".
Yeah,
he plays like he's 6'5". The first team that you said, I'm sorry, I forgot about the first team that you said that. It was Memphis.
Yeah.
I'd like to have this conversation with you. Let's put this on my report card as incomplete. I'd like to have this conversation again with you in 10 games. How about that?
Okay.
I'd like to come back to Memphis because
he took the defibrillators and put them into his team. I've never seen this before. Like Ja.
29, 9, and 5 over the last 4 games.
Right?
That's him.
He's just not willing his team to win. He has literally dragged them like, no, we're not going in like out like this. Like,
not like that.
It's incredible to watch. I know all the antics get in the way and stuff of like his hooping ability and and it was kind of sad to see on the panel just bring up that his dance. I didn't even notice that shit till you guys were talking about it on the panel today, and I was like,
right. Well, Ja gonna do his thing, man. We happy to have Ja back. Glad that he's balling, carrying his squad. Appreciate you pulling up too, Neff.
Absolutely, brother. No doubt.
Get with us on Saturday, fam.
Yes, sir. Get with us. We'll be here, no doubt. Definitely, will be here. So,
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Big Ox. I seen him. I like you said. I got no problem going to war with Jason Tatum. I don't.
Yeah.
I got no issue, no problem going to war with that dude. So. I think when it's obvious that you are at that level when people are critiquing you at the championship level. Like they ain't critiquing Julius Randle at that level. Right? They ain't critiquing other players at that level. They critiquing you, yo, what did you do in the finals? What did you do in the Eastern Conference Championship? That's what they critiquing you at, which is dope to me. I'm feeling that. You obviously are at that level. What up?
You,
What up?
what's going on? Going off that list, the thing with Miami, and I think Chilla said this a lot. I think the one thing that a lot of people said about Miami is that they needed to get a 5. They need to move Bam to the 4. But I think the thing with Bam, it's going to come down to if he will play like he's the second best player. Like, will he play like a 20 and 10 guy that I think he can be?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that if Bam is consistent, both defensively and offensively, if he can give you 20 to 20, 23, about 10 plus boards a game, I think that Miami could be a very big threat. Because I feel like if he's not there, if he's kind of just a shell of what he is, I think Miami will kind of become more of a pretender team. Because he's the one person I'm looking at as like, all right, I know what Jimmy will bring me. I know what he can do. Tyler Hero's been playing really well. The rookie's been playing really well. But I think Bam is he's the needle in the haystack. He's gotta show himself. I think he needs to show who he can be. Same with the Lakers. I think the Lakers will come down to how Darvin Ham will utilize his players. If he'll play Christian Wood more, if obviously they can get smarter, which is kind of weird to say. But I think I'm also going to say this. Boston, for me, is kind of going on the pretender side a little bit because it's been a little bit too long for me to keep thinking that they're going to win it because I don't know if they're even going to win it this year. On paper, yes. Defensively, one of the better defensive teams. You know, I've seen them lose to a top 5 defense in the league. And don't get me wrong, I mean, it happens, but I don't know how much longer I can hold on to Boston. And if they don't win, I don't know what they have to do to make adjustments in terms of if they make trades, if they let Jaylen Brown or Tatum go, or one of them go. But
I've already been on record, and I said this earlier today that my patience is running thin too. My patience is like we can't just keep getting there. It can't happen. At some point, you got to break through, and at some point, you got to get over the top. But this season, you know, this is a career year for Bam, and for Bam to be a double-double guy, I think he's 22 and 10 this year, playing elite defense. And if you could get that to translate into the playoffs, where if he got it raised from 22, because I think he's a 22 to 25 guy for another 2-3 years. I think that's peak Bam. I think that's peak Bam. But if you could get him to raise that in the playoffs, if you could get him to raise that 22 to 24, 11,
25
and 2
25
blocks,
and 12, 25 and 12 at least.
and understand that a lot of people, they get wrapped up in, you got to make this move, you got to make that move. Unfortunately, sometimes you just ain't good enough. No matter what we do,
it comes down to telling your players, yo, you just have to play better. Like I understand. Yes, Bam would be better at the 4, just like a lot of people said, and we've seen AD play better at the 4. But it just comes down to, yo, you're gonna have to play this position. Get your body better. Get stronger.
How much better? Here's the question though. How much better, like for example, with the Miami Heat, how much better can they get? You already got your number 1 in Jimmy Butler. He's taken you to the finals twice in the last 4 years? Yeah. Twice in the last 4 years. Been to the Eastern Conference Championship 3 times? So and now you got a 22 and 10 guy at the peak of his power. And now you got this rook that just came in. He's awesome. Your lead guard, I think your lead guard is washed. But with that being said, you got a lot of vets. How much better can you get? Unfortunately, sometimes you're just not good enough. That's just how it is. The Utah Jazz, as good as the Utah Jazz were, they just wasn't good enough, B.
Yeah, and this is my last thing before I go. I know y'all got some other people waiting, but I saw a thing that Allen Iverson wanted to come back to the Sixers and kind of be a mentor. And I was thinking, like, if Joel can get someone like AI in his ear, I think I think they could go from pretenders to contenders because I think the one thing with Joel is his mindset. And I wanted to ask y'all, how do y'all feel if league teams start adding veteran players, whether it's AI to the Sixers or Magic to the Lakers, and just being a guy who's talking to these dudes and getting them right mentally?
Well, that's already happened. So if you notice, the Knicks, Big Ox, what's his name? The Knicks just signed him.
Oh, Taj Gibson.
The Knicks did that with him. So the Clippers with PJ Tucker. So this has been going on. Miami last year with Udonis Haslem. So this is not something new. This has been going on. And I think this is good for the league. I think it's good for young players. It could toughen up Joel Embiid, especially if it's coming from somebody like Allen Iverson, who played through injury, who played as hard as he did. And in Philadelphia,
he was the one person that made the Lakers prevented the Lakers from going 16-0 in the playoffs.
That Lakers team.
They don't got nothing implemented.
Like, that's insane.
They don't got nothing implemented in the NBA.
And tell you like this is what you got to do. Like,
they don't got nothing implemented in the NBA. Like I don't know, like almost like a Big Brother program. Like they don't got
yes, they do. Yeah, it's called player development. They have a department for that specifically. They pay somebody.
Right. I'm not talking about just necessarily just on, but like
I ain't even talking about on the court, Big Ox. No, I'm not even talking about.
Okay, that's
I'm talking about overall. They have a department for that, player development. We got a guy specifically that we have on the crew that we pay for exactly what you're talking about. The Miami Heat had it with Lonzo Mourning, and he's still on the roster.
Okay. Yeah.
Miami Heat had it with Lonzo Mourning, player development. So I'm gonna teach you how to be a pro. Your man, who you love, Big Ox, and Kevin Garnett, he said that Sam Mitchell showed him how to be a pro. Mm-hmm. So we have guys who do that. It's the question is how often are these guys on the crew? That's the question.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Even because sometimes players, especially back in the day, some of them that maybe their financial situation ain't all that great. I'm thinking that's a good job. That's a good job market. It might. I'm not saying get these guys millions of dollars, but put them on the payrolls. Give them enough money to make sure that they never go broke. But let them, because that's important. Help with these youngsters. Some mentorship, somebody to look up to. I think that's a good move. I wasn't sure if that was a thing, but I'm happy to hear that it is.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, let's see. We got time for somebody else. Let me see. Let me grab Nick. I think Tex got it back together. So let's see. Let's see if y'all two can get them.
What up?
Y'all there?
Yo, Nick, valid. I'm valid. We good money?
Yep.
Yeah, you straight. Nick, you there?
Yes, sir.
No, Nick.
All right. Salute.
We just gonna keep it Brooklyn then.
Right. As we should, because we got the dub today. Yesterday. Chill. Salute to you. Happy holidays to you and yours. You know what I mean? Ox, you already know the vibes. Breezy, you already know the vibes. Big dub. I'm glad we gave we made history by giving the Pistons another loss. Just a quick rundown, real quick. Chill. I have to the one glaring issue that I can see with Detroit is poor spacing, especially with Cade's development. Very, very poor spacing. Beef Stew is not a shooter. You have two bigs that are clogging the paint, and his cadence, his dribble cadence, the way that he gets to his spots, like you said, his pick and pop is very slow and deliberate. So what tends to happen is that since he's playing at such a pace, he needs to have it spaced out the same way OKC does. You laid it perfectly this morning in regards to the panel and the way that OKC spaces it out. And SGA was able to take advantage of the best defensive team in the league, but because everybody can shoot, proper personnel, knowing your personnel, and you have someone that's able to dictate their pace, you're able to maximize all the guys. Pistons have to overload. They need to do a whole reload. If I'm on the thing, I'm taking calls for all the big men except for Jalen Duren. All the big men, you're out of here, bro. I don't need y'all. Y'all wasting space. Y'all just big guys for no reason.
Wiseman, all of them do. Wiseman, Stewart,
Sacramento, all that. Boom, boom, boom.
All them up.
One thing about Brooklyn, come on over. One thing I'll say about Brooklyn definitely needs a 5-man. Breezy, we definitely need a 5-man. And I agree. I think Mikal Bridges, unfortunately, he is a French all-star, but until he develops the shot creation or adds weight to his body, he is not going to level up because The all I'm seeing is a lot of him getting pushed off his spot, just like Brandon Ingram. The skill is there. Is you don't play as your size. You play Mikal Bridges too. He plays smaller than what he is, and I think maybe that might be a weight thing. I don't know what the case may be. I'm one surprise, and I'll let Breezy get it off. One surprise. I'm surprised that you put Miami, and yet you feel like they don't really have enough to improve on. So why do you have them contending? Is it sort of like a matchup thing? Do you feel like what are you so high on them in terms of contention?
Well, I can get to the heavyweight championship, Tex. That don't mean I'm gonna win it. And they've proven with the crew that they have, I can get in the ring with the heavyweight champ, and I can go blow for blow with you. The question is, can I drop you? That's what they haven't proven. Can they drop you? They still right there. I can still get in the ring with you. They're the 5 seed right now. As of right now, we're talking about.
Let me ask one question before, and I didn't mean to cut you off. Do you believe that they are still better than the New York Knicks?
Yeah, I do. Bam's having a career year.
Better than Indiana.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Indiana doesn't guard at all. Okay. Indiana doesn't guard at all. Yes.
I know.
Real quick,
don't remind me, Joe. But Hallie's still good. Hallie's still good.
Real quick, Tex. Hey, Breezy, you there? Jump in when you can, bro, because we time is.
Yeah, my fault.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right, so I'll make it quick. I just wanted to ask you. First of all, shout out to y'all. Happy holidays. I just wanted to ask Chill. I know you noticed. You seen that meme, not that meme, that clip with Anthony Edwards. He was trash talking with Jimmy Butler, right? Mm-hmm. And then it was a play where Anthony Edwards dunked over his teammate, and the crowd was like, "Oh!" Right. So my question to you is, Chill, when it get chippy, who rise to the occasion? Let me give you an example. Gary Payton back in the day, it get chippy, he rise to the occasion. He back where he talk. He could have a jaw at it with you, but still back that talk because his game rises to the next level. So I'm saying that to say that I see that in Anthony Edwards, and I see you putting them as contenders. I respect it. I'm glad you did it, and you've been, spot on about them. And I kind of wanted to contrast the Brooklyn Nets to say that I think that's the major difference between Cam Thomas and somebody like Anthony Edwards. Now, just hear me out. It's more of the team concept of, they don't trade. Brooklyn trades baskets. So Cam Thomas points to quote unquote to some seems not impactful because we don't have a defense for his per scoring to stand out. With Anthony Edwards, his per scoring stands out because, like you said, they got the number 1 defense. Right. So,
Breezy, real quick, can I ask you a question, Breezy?
Yeah.
You might have said it. I might have missed it. I just want to be clear. What are we doing here? Are we comparing Cam Thomas and
no, it's a contrast. It's a contrast between Minnesota and Brooklyn. That's what.
Okay. I'm saying no matter how good. I'm saying no matter how good of a scorer is, if the team don't have defense, the points don't look like they hit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
For sure. I got you.
I do got one question though, fellas.
And now to answer your question, question, Breezy. So Gary Payton, that was part of his game. So guys who talk, there's a difference between guys who talk and guys who just yap. Gary Payton, that was part of his game. And that's why he was able to thrive. Bird, that was part of his game. Jordan, that was part of his game. KG. You see these dudes, you see these dudes who, when the yapping starts, where they start to cower, because that's not part of their game. But you also see these dudes who, when the yapping starts, they still stand up and they don't cower. Tim Duncan wasn't a yapper, but when you yap at him, don't think for 1 second that he was backing down from Kevin Garnett. He was not backing down from Kevin Garnett. So the fact that I yap, that's part of my game, right? And there aren't many guys who can yap and make it translate to their game. But there's some guys who can. Gary Payton, and I think that Anthony Edwards is one of those dudes. He is definitely
one of them ones, Chill. You know that. You know he one of them ones.
He definitely with the drama.
I just wanted to say this last thing because I said we about to fade and wrap up, right? You see what Chicago. I see what Michael Jordan did for the the Bulls. Never had a championship until him. See Jokic never had a championship till him. Do you see that with the Wolves? Because you got them as contenders. Because Anthony Edwards bring a chip to Minnesota.
I'm on record. I think he's the MVP.
Come on, Breeze.
Yes.
Tighten up. You know what's up. You know what's up.
No, I want to hear what I'm saying. Because
yes. Yeah, I don't think they do it this year, but I think that they're close. I do.
So they're getting past the first round this year. You got them past the first round?
I do have them getting that around.
Who's getting the ring first? Anthony Edwards or Luka Doncic?
The way that unit is built in Minnesota, I think it's Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Hey,
Nah. Hold on. I got one question.
I gotta go. Tex, gotta go. We already over. I got super chat.
I'm already here. I'm already hearing the suit.
Check us on Saturday.
Saturday, I got you. Saturday, I'll bring you.
I'm already here. I'm already hearing the suits. They in my
happy holidays, y'all. Happy holidays.
Yes, sir.
Oh, Brooklyn up, man. Brooklyn up.
For sure. Okay, cool. So let me get these couple super chats because we never miss the super chats. I see y'all in the comments talking about, this super chat's getting ducked. That'll never happen. Never. FIFA boy said Ox forgot to put a 6th spot on contenders for the Mavs. You know what? I did overlook that, FIFA. My bad, bro. My bad. Next time I got you. I need to chill. 97 till infinity. Differences between pretender or on the brink. Okay, yeah.
There's a difference between pretend. The difference between pretender and on the brink is you're on the brink of being a pretender. A pretender and a contender are things. When you on the brink, you're neither. So you're on the brink of being one of those things. That's the point that Big Ox is trying to make.
Definitely. We just wanted to get to the bottom of it. But yeah, man, we wrapped up the super chats. Got the people. You know what? Let me show this real quick before we do. Remind y'all, chills, pretenders, or contenders, pretenders, and teams on the brink. First, we got 5 pretenders: Boston Celtics, Denver Nuggets, Minnesota Timberwolves, Miami Heat, Milwaukee Bucks. In the pretenders, we have Philadelphia 76ers, Oklahoma City Thunder, Los Angeles Clippers, and New York Knickerbockers. On the brink, we have the Sacramento Kings, the Los Angeles Lakers, and the Orlando Magic. These are the teams on the brink, the teams that are pretenders, and the teams that are contenders. You heard it here first. We'll see y'all Saturday. Appreciate y'all for pulling up. Check us tomorrow on the panel. Chill Town.
Yo, drink water. Put a suit on. Don't drink and drive. Hey, man, call your mother. Call your mother. And until then, take it light. Take it.